Good evening. Soon it will be Shavuot. My father used to refer to it as Shvius. In Hebrew, it means weeks. It's literally the festival that follows Pesach 7 weeks later. And if Pesach is the beginning of the spring harvest, when the weather starts to get warm and things grow, Shavuot is the conclusion of the spring harvest, after which things get really hot, the sun is out more and more and more, and we're heading into summer. Historically, it also represents Zman Matan Toratenu, the time of the giving of the Torah at Mount Sinai, from God to Moses to the Jewish people. If Pesach is all about our liberation, Shavuot is about revelation. Pesach, we left Egypt, we crossed the Sea of Reeds, we traveled in the desert. Shavuot, we arrived at Mount Sinai at the foothills. Moses ascended the mountain, received not just the Ten Commandments, but the entire law, all of the Torah, and shared it with the people of Israel. And we are the inheritors to this day. Our ancestors stood at the foothills of Mount Sinai receiving the Torah so that we can live as Jews. It wasn't just biblical characters. The rabbis believed that every spirit of every soul of every Jew that ever was and ever will be was somehow represented at Sinai. There's even a midrash, a rabbinic legend, that when the angels heard God was going to be given the Jewish people his greatest gift, the gift of Torah, they said, don't do it. The Israelite nation, they're not perfect. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to sin. They're going to doubt themselves about coming into the land of Israel. They're going to question their belief in God and loyalty towards you, their observance. So God said to Moses, look, my angels make a good point. How can you guarantee that your people are worthy of this great and precious gift that I am bestowing upon you? Moses said, well, if not just for my sake, think in the past about the patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Moses said, well, they weren't perfect either. You know, Abraham had his flaws. He once served a treif meal of milk and meat to the angels before I destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. Isaac wasn't perfect. He preferred Esau, his old, big, burly son, who wasn't such a good person, to the more favored Jacob. And even Jacob, the next patriarch in the line of tradition, he wasn't perfect either. He was a bit of a trickster and a huckster and got himself into trouble. And he even favored Joseph over the other sons, which led to problems. Moses said, think about the future. Think about the prophets that'll come after me. And God said, yeah, the prophets aren't perfect either. The people won't always listen to the prophets. Sometimes they'll turn against the prophets. I need something better. And Moses said, God, how about our children? How about our immediate future? God thought about it for a moment and said, yes, the children, the babies, little kids. For their sake, I'm going to give you Torah. And it said, when Moses was atop Mount Sinai with all the smoke and the thunder and the lightning, an awesome feat if ever there was one, all the pregnant women came forward, and God caused their bellies to shine like glass, so that the babies in utero could be seen and could actually hear the words of the Torah being given. They stirred in their mother's wombs, nodding to each and every law that Moses was repeating to the Israelite nation below. And even little babies, the infants who were being held by their parents, cradled in their arms, listened and nodded their heads, yes to the positive commandments and no to the negative commandments. And even the toddlers that were taken by the hand along with their parents, they understood, they perceived. It was for the sake of the children, our future, that we received the Torah. And the rabbis believed that in every Jew is the spirit of someone who stood in Sinai, someone who was there at Sinai, shoulder to shoulder with the entire community, not just the 1.5 million, the men, women, and children that stood there physically then, but every Jew that would come after to this very day. So I just want to say, Chag Sameach. I hope you enjoyed the story. Don't forget that Shavuot is a very, very important holy day, a very important festival, as important as Pesach or Sukkot or even the high holy days. It was on this day that we received the Torah. We truly became not just a free people, but the Jewish people. with laws, traditions, and belief. Everyone, stay safe and stay healthy. I'm Rabbi Michael Stanger, and I miss you.